Hey, what's up guys, it's Jonathan Tang from Swift Badminton School, and today I want to take you through the number one exercise that every badminton player should be doing. If I could get more badminton players doing one exercise, it'd be squats. Why is that? Simply put, it's the absolute best exercise to develop strength and power for any sport. Not only is it going to train all the important muscles in your legs, it will do so in a way that's functional with lots of carryover to badminton. I was 16 when I first stepped into a gym, and after just a very short time of training squats, I couldn't believe how much faster I moved around the court. Everything from jumping out to a corner or recovering from a lunge became so much quicker and snappier. Not only have squats been a focus of my badminton training regime since then, a few years later I even took a break from badminton and began competing in Olympic weightlifting. And believe me, as weightlifters, we love to squat. So I've become extremely intimate with this exercise, and with both my badminton and weightlifting experience, I'm here to teach you how you can implement squats into your badminton training regime. In this video, we're only talking about weighted barbell squats. If you watched my previous video, you know I dislike bodyweight squats simply because they're too easy. So let's go through the movement. Start off by placing the bar on your back. You'll need to squeeze your muscles to create a shell for the bar to rest on. It's important that the bar is held by your back muscles and not your hands, or you're going to place strain on your wrists as you increase the weight. With the bar on your back, stand tall and upright. Your feet should be slightly wider than shoulder width apart, with your toes pointed outwards. The exact perfect setup is going to differ depending on your body proportions, so make sure you experiment to see what's comfortable for you. With your entire body, including your core and back tight, bend at the knees and hips to descend into your bottom squat position. Push through your midfoot against the ground to return to the starting position. Make sure to maintain a neutral spine and upright torso throughout the entire movement. Now we've seen a good squat, let's have a look at some common mistakes. Without a doubt, the most infamous mistake is doing half reps. This is where you don't go far down enough to complete the full range of motion. For maximum leg development, you want to squat as low as you can with good form. If you're lifting just for your ego and want to brag about squatting big, heavy numbers, you're only hurting yourself, because not only are you missing out on the full training effect of the exercise, you open yourself up to a much higher risk of injury. If you're capable of it, I absolutely recommend squatting arse to the grass. Just make sure you're not compromising your position to get there. Mistake number 2 is rounding your back. If you do this, you're putting a lot of strain on your spine, which is going to lead to back injury further down the line. Mentally cue yourself to open up your chest instead of collapsing inwards. The next mistake is to tilt onto your toes. You really want to be pushing off the heels and midfoot for efficient energy transfer. These two problems can both be caused by a lack of flexibility or just unfortunate body proportions. Maybe you're not built for squatting. If you have either of these problems, you will especially benefit from doing lower body stretches to improve your mobility. And in fact, this is also going to help anyone who just wants to squat lower to hit that perfect arse to the grass squat. Stretches and mobility is something I'm going to cover in a future video, but fortunately there is actually one thing you can do today to see an instant improvement in your squat form. You might have noticed that I never squat with badminton shoes, and that's because I'm always wearing these. These are weightlifting shoes, which are simply much better for squats. There are two main differences. First, they have a raised heel, which helps you squat deeper while maintaining an upright back. This works by effectively making up for poor ankle dorsiflexion and changing the ratio between your femur and tibia. If you struggle with these issues, weightlifting shoes will make a huge difference. You really have to try them to believe it. Another benefit of weightlifting shoes is the sole. Badminton shoes and sports shoes in general tend to have lots of cushioning, so when you squat, some of that energy you exert is going to be absorbed by the soft cushion instead of lifting the weight. On the other hand, these shoes have an extremely hard, non-compressible sole, so all the energy you exert is going to be efficiently transferred into the weight. Now, you don't have to squat in weightlifting shoes, especially if you're just starting out, but they are a great purchase if you want to take your training more seriously. These shoes are the Adidas Power Lifts, which is what I wear for all of my squats and Olympic lifts. They'll do an amazing job without you having to spend £200 like some of the shoes out there. I'll leave a link for them in the description below if you're interested in buying them. There are two types of squats, the high bar squat and the low bar squat. The difference between them is the position that you rest the bar on your back. In the high bar squat, you rest the bar higher up on the trapezius muscle, which results in a more quad dominant exercise. In the low bar squat, the bar rests lower on the deltoids, which results in a squat that's more reliant on the back and posterior chain muscles. In strength sports, you'll generally see powerlifters use low bar squats as it's more lenient and it allows them to fight for a max squat. Meanwhile, us weightlifters squat high bar as the upright torso and muscle activation has more carryover to the snatch and clean and jerk. Without a doubt, all badminton players should be doing high bar squats. There's simply more carryover to athletic movements such as jumping and lunges due to the increased quad activation. To achieve this goal, badminton players want to squat by keeping the torso as upright as possible. Note that there's nothing wrong with low bar squats, they just serve a different purpose to what we are looking for. In most gyms you'll be using a squat rack. This is an adjustable piece of equipment that's going to make sure you stay safe. The key here is the safety bar. If you get stuck under the weight, you can simply release the bar onto the safety and get back up. With an empty bar, find out how low the bar gets at the bottom of your rep and adjust the safety to just slightly below this height. This is extremely important to set up properly if you want to do the exercise safely. Note, the reason that you don't see me squatting with them is actually because the gyms I train at use bumper plates, meaning I can simply bail by dropping the bar, but this isn't something that you can normally do with metal plates, so make sure you use safeties. As far as reps and sets go, I don't want to get too far into that in this video. The reason for that is that it's extremely dependent on your individual badminton and weight training schedule. The volume and frequency of your existing regime is going to affect how you fit such a taxing exercise like squats into it. Instead, I'm going to be releasing a complete training program separately at a future date. So if you want to see that or more great badminton content as soon as it's released, make sure you subscribe to Swift Badminton School. I post a ton of great videos and you're really going to enjoy them. In the meantime, go ahead over here to check out some of my other videos and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching.